Alright, so remember this guy, the self-proclaimed alpha who flipped out on the Christian who told him that money wasn't everything? Well, yeah, things have gotten much worse for him, showing just how much more toxic this internet alpha male mindset becomes over time. It consistently gets worse, leading to growing insecurity, more emotional outbursts, and an overall more miserable life. So, in case you missed it, this all started when a Christian was on the panel with this alpha male, and the Christian said this.
My definition of success will probably be far different than everybody else's on the panel. I'll probably maybe be the lone dissenter, but my definition of success is having a family, having children, and being part of the apparatus of the world. And true wealth is a rejection of materialism. As Christ said himself, what good does it benefit a man to gain the entire world at the cost of his soul?
And apparently, this didn't sit well with this alpha male. After failing to convince the Christian that money makes someone more valuable, he started getting more and more aggressive.
If you look in the mirror, would you guys say this motherfucker's proud of who the he is? That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your shirt
Because
off
I've been-
and tell me you're proud
Because
of yourself.
I've been to prison?
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and men don't have
But the Christian seemed unfazed, and as the clip went on, the more that the Christian continues to downplay the value of money, the more emotional and unstable the alpha appears to become, revealing the core issue. His identity and sense of self-worth is built on money and wealth, leading to radical insecurity. You see, since the alpha believes that having a lot of money makes him valuable, he feels personally attacked when the Christian says that money doesn't mean that you're successful. When someone gets their ultimate sense of self-worth from having a lot of money and other people don't validate them for it, they tend to get really defensive, and it eventually drives them to react like this.
Shut the up.
We're gonna
make
move on.
You cry if you want.
We're gonna move on.
But despite the viral pushback for his intense reaction, and instead of considering what the Christian told him, he apparently doubled down on the belief that money and dominance are the ultimate markers of success, which unfortunately has only led to things getting worse and worse for him. But before we get into that, when I talk about money, don't misunderstand me as saying that money is bad. Money is a good thing that becomes bad the more that you get your ultimate sense of security and self-worth from it. But being mindful of money and investments is biblical and wise, which is why I'm happy to have American Hartford Gold as the sponsor of today's video. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you that inflation is out of control. Every day that inflation is up, your dollar is losing value, which means that everything is getting more expensive. The upcoming election is only adding to the chaos, and in these unstable times, it's important to safeguard your finances. One way to secure your hard-earned wealth is to diversify your savings by adding physical precious metals to your portfolio. Some economists believe that the dollar is at risk of collapsing in the near future, and if they're right, then gold and silver are likely to continue. With American Hartford Gold, they make getting gold and silver easier by delivering them right to your door, or you can get set up in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. Also, American Hartford Gold works hard at providing their clients with the best customer service in the industry. They have a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ score from the Better Business Bureau, so it's clear that they're here to stay. If you tell them I sent you, you can get up to $15,000 of free silver on your first qualifying order. So if you want to protect your financial future by diversifying your portfolio with physical metals, you can call 866-863-1963 or text MEME to 65532 right now. You can also click the link in the description. So thank you American Hartford Gold for sponsoring this part of the video, as our sponsors really do help us to reach more and more people with our message. All right, now back to the video. You see, when people feel insecure, they feel small. And one way that they might try to compensate for this is to make others feel small so that way they could feel bigger. And this insecurity often leads to arrogance, which comes out in how they treat others, especially those that don't have as much money. For example, it usually looks something like, well, like this.
Driver, he was just quiet the whole way as I just laid into this idiot on the way here, because these people, they always just insert their advice into my life, and whatever me and the guy were talking about, I had to yell at the dude, tell him he's a dipshit, and he shut the up. And then the Uber driver's like, you shouldn't let people get to you like that. I said, no bro, how old are you, dog? He said 67. I said, you're an Uber driver at 67. Let's just go over the facts. You just picked me up at my $25 million house. You're dropping me off at my warehouse. Look inside there. I opened the garage. I said, there's Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis in there. That lifted truck right there is $600,000. I was like, you're an Uber driver at 67, bro. Look at your physical condition and look at where you're at. You're an Uber driver. You just picked me up at my $25 million house. Like, you picked me up there. You saw it, bro. Why are you giving me any advice? All you should do is ask me what the I do and how I did it. And you should realize that top people, the only reason a lot of you guys are not top people is because you don't yell at people.
And it gets worse. Without even realizing it, they start to treat everyone worse and worse, including the people that they hire to work for them to make their lives easier.
We still need to hear this noise when people have to just walk around your house blowing leaves because they don't have any better solution. It's psychotic. Who the likes this noise around their house twice a week to pay for it? Okay, there's a good invention for you, mother. Shut. Watch. Here you go. Hey! 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 Get out of the backyard. I'm trying to do something. It's too loud. It's way too loud. Go! I'm doing something. Go! Well, there the you go. 2 minutes of the video wasted. Because these motherfuckers just don't get that it's so fucking annoying to sit there and... There's no possible way that needed to be done at that level.
But here's the thing. This type of arrogance might feel like dominance, but it comes with a price. What they often don't realize is that by treating others this way, it will eventually ruin their relationships over time, and isolation and loneliness become inevitable. As time goes on, the arrogance and the continuous need to punt others down becomes too much for people to want to put up with. I mean, who would really want to spend a lot of time with somebody that treats their so-called friends like this?
I don't operate too well around normal people because they're stupid. They're in their position. They're in the same position they're in because they're not that educated. They don't understand what the is happening. The motherfucker pushes my phantom door with his hand on the pane. I go, motherfucker, have you ever had your car washed? And he goes, what? And I said, have you ever had your fucking car washed before? And he goes, oh, come on, Wes. I said, nah, dog, have you ever washed your fucking car? And he goes, oh, come on, bro. I said, do you want someone putting their fucking hand all over it? And I grab him by his neck, and I'm holding him by his neck. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker.
But the saddest part about all of this is not just that people will stop wanting to be around them, but it's sadder when you realize the reason why the people that do stick around in the first place. You see, if you get your ultimate sense of self-worth and value from how much money you make, deep down you believe that making a lot of money is the ultimate thing that makes you valuable. And the most ironic part is that eventually others will start to believe that as well. So after your arrogance begins to push people away, this leads to you only being left with people that are around because of your money rather than who you are. And if something happens and you start to lose the money, not only are you now at risk of losing the last relationships that you have left, but you're also at risk of losing your ultimate sense of value and self-worth. And before I show you this next clip, I want you to imagine what would happen if you were in this alpha male's position and people stopped paying you thousands of dollars for your courses. Because of the way that you see yourself and the way that you see others, you probably won't consider the fact that maybe you or your product is the reason why you're losing customers. You'd probably blame it on them for them not being as successful as you. And you might even start to treat potential customers like this.
99% of you motherfuckers are in such a laughable position, it makes me sick to think that you actually should speak or know anything, or why the fuck you're even still breathing at this point. Go on to always say, hey, invest in me, believe in me, I'll be your best student. Motherfucker, ain't no best motherfucker doesn't have 10 fucking G's, doesn't have 100 G's, doesn't have an M to spend. You don't even got a credit card? Who the fuck should ever trust you? You mean you want to get to a position like you see motherfuckers like me have, and you don't have 100 grand liquid to spend on your business? All you losers and you dumb yeah, I said it. You guys don't ever want to give compliments up top because you want success to be what you already.
And I know, from the outside, it appears that these sorts of people have it all together. I mean, the money, the cars, the houses, and so on. But behind the peacocking, and in rare honest moments, you'll hear them admit things that are honestly pretty sad.
Everything in me died a long time ago. This is all plus. This is all wonderful, but I'm indifferent. I don't even enjoy life. I don't enjoy anything. Nothing does anything for me. Right. Not even hot model chick, this, that, the other, thought of kids, all that.
All right, now this is really important. You see, it's easy for us to look at him with a degree of arrogance ourselves, believing that we could never end up like him if we had the same amount of money that he had. But the truth is, all of us, myself included, could absolutely be just as bad, if not worse, if we were also unlucky enough to get the true desires of our hearts as well. You see, the problem here is not money. I mean, it may be money for him, but for us, it could be anything else, like finding an attractive spouse, or starting a family, or finding the right career, being a good Christian, or a number of other things. For you, it's whatever you say in your heart of hearts. If I just had that, then my life would be complete and I would be happy. Whatever that thing is, it has the potential to make you behave in a similar way to the alpha male, even if it's not as clearly pronounced for others to publicly see as his is. In fact, it could be that the main difference between us and this alpha male is that he was able to have his wildest dreams come true. So whatever that thing is, we become insecure when we feel like we aren't achieving that thing, and those insecurities could easily turn into arrogance if we do feel like we achieved it, but others aren't praising us for it. When this happens, we naturally start to look down on those that weren't able to accomplish what we were able to. And it's this that will ultimately drive a wedge in between us and those that we care about, which is the inevitable result when we get our identity from anything. Well, almost anything. The only thing that you can get your identity from that I know of that won't make you insecure when you're not living up to it and won't make you arrogant when you feel like you are is if we find our identity in Christ. You see, Christ died for you so that way you could live forever and be in a right relationship with them. And if his good life is the reason why you're saved, then how could you possibly look down on others that don't have a relationship with them? You can't feel arrogant towards anyone who's not saved because you didn't do anything to earn it. In fact, you were so incapable of earning it that Christ had to earn it for you and then die in your place while offering it to you as a free and undeserved gift. So how could you possibly look down on someone who isn't saved with any degree of self-righteousness? And at the same time, it can't make you insecure either because the creator of the entire universe loves and values you so much that he was happy to come down from heaven and be tortured so that way he could give his life for you in your place. You see, the message of the gospel leads to a radical sense of security that won't make you arrogant and a radical sense of confidence that won't make you insecure. But as Christians, we often forget this, and that's what leads us to act out of alignment with our identity in Christ. But the more that we remember the core message of the gospel, the more freedom that we have to be secure in who Christ says that we are, which leads us to better serve God and others, and ultimately have a life of true meaning and purpose. One that's not based on things that will rot and waste away, and something that no one can take away from you. But I only scratched the surface of how this plays out in our day-to-day lives. So if you want to learn more, go ahead and check out this video I did on a 56-year-old model who got her identity from her looks and how that impacted her as she approaches her golden years. See you over there, and thanks for watching.